In 1989, Disney shocked the world and started off their famous Disney Renaissance period with the instant classic The Little Mermaid, a story about a mermaid named Ariel who's a total nerd about human culture. So much so that she asks for legs from the sea witch Ursula with the sole intention of experiencing human culture and kissing the boy that she likes. Fun fact, Ursula was the first queer-coded Disney villain during this Disney Renaissance period. Perhaps this isn't such a strange concept considering Ursula was based off and modeled after the famous drag queen Divine. And as my use of the word first implies, Ursula was far from the last queer-coded Disney villain. She was followed by other notable figures you may recognize like Gaston, Jafar, Hades, and even Dr. Facilier in The Princess and the Frog. Disney has leaned into this queer coding in recent years, especially with films like Maleficent and Cruella. And though queer coding wasn't new, The Little Mermaid was arguably the most blatant purveyor of the trend, considering, again, that the main villain was literally based off of a drag queen. So why did Disney do it? Was it intentional? A happy accident, unlikely as that may seem? Or maybe it was done out of a love for camp-style performance that drag performers throughout the decades have perfected. Or, I'm just going out on a limb here, maybe it's because sometimes society doesn't always allow you to make a character open with an identity that not everyone understands or is comfortable with. I know, crazy, right? Speaking of crazy...
Crazy is when I go off the rails. This is what you've done to me.
Let's set the scene. 2015. Rachel Bloom's first ever show, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, premieres. A musical comedy, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend tells the story of a woman named Rebecca Bunch who moves from New York, New York to West Covina, California, of all places, to try and win the affection of her high school boyfriend, Josh Chan. Over the course of its 4-season run, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend was nominated for 7 Emmys, of which it won 4. And it was praised for its hilarious songs, thoughtful destigmatizing depiction of mental illness, romance, and redemption. One of the things the show was especially praised for was its portrayal of borderline personality disorder, or BPD, a cluster B personality disorder that has been heavily stigmatized throughout the years. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend helped show and remind viewers that people with BPD are, shockingly enough, actual people who with proper support and therapy can live happy, healthy, and productive lives. But here's what struck me. As much as BPD explains a lot of Rebecca's behavior, it doesn't explain all of it. And many autistic viewers, like myself, think there may be a little something else going on. Much like Ursula was queer-coded in The Little Mermaid, we, me and other people in the autism community, suspect Rebecca Bunch may just be autistic-coded. So how do we decide if there really is some autistic coded going on with dear, sweet Rebecca? By destroying my liver, obviously! We're doing shots, baby! Because you know this bimbo has to have some excuse for the non-smart things that she says, and being drunk is about as valid of an excuse as I can currently think of 2 shots in already. Just kidding. Or am I? Anyway, let's establish the rules of the drinking game. For every autistic-coded behavior that Rebecca exhibits, I will take 1 shot, but only if BPD isn't a valid alternative explanation.
Everybody got that? Good!
Let's decide if Rebecca Bunch is autistic-coded. Evidence number 1. Rebecca Bunch doesn't understand social cues. Throughout the show, it's frequently apparent that Rebecca doesn't understand the social cues of the people around her.
Well, there's Blowy Point at the top of the hill.
Blowy Point. Oh, because it's windy?
Even when the other characters make it blatantly obvious how they feel about her, she just doesn't get it.
This has been the best summer of my life, and you're the reason why.
This is especially true when it comes to White Josh, who just plain and simple doesn't like Rebecca. She doesn't seem to notice his dislike or remotely even care about it.
Never really came around on you. Never will.
Respect.
Respect is not an appropriate response there.
Respect.
Oh, what's that? More evidence that Rebecca doesn't understand social cues? She has a tendency to insert herself into other people's spaces or conversations without seeming to realize that's not an acceptable form of socialization. This is absolutely not a BPD trait. That's puritanism, baby! Ooh. That's alcohol abuse. Oh! Why did I not use prop tequila? Evidence number 2. Rebecca doesn't know where the line is. In multiple moments of the show, Rebecca tries to fit in with groups of people by mirroring the kind of jokes that they tell or by trying to participate in the activities that they're doing.
I had a friend named Jeff once. He took bad mushrooms and jumped off the roof of our dorm.
Somehow, though, she always takes it too far without ever realizing it.
Yo, this is $500.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
If this had been a 20, you'd be good. But either you a cop or you a drug dealer. Either way, y'all ain't getting in.
Like when Valencia jokingly kisses Rebecca and Rebecca gives her a real kiss back. Or when Josh and Valencia are engaging in some sexy dancing and Rebecca decides to do an even sexier pole dance. All of these attempts by Rebecca to fit into and contribute to the social environment only end in her crossing some invisible boundary that alienates her from the group instead. And yes, for the people in the back screeching, "Isn't this also a sign of not understanding social cues?" You're correct. Good for you. Have a shot for yourself. When it comes to social situations, there's an invisible line that Autistics inherently know, but Autistics don't. That, my friends, is puritanism. Next. Evidence number 3. Rebecca doesn't have a lot of friends.
I have friends. I definitely have friends. Objectively, I can say that I have all the friends.
Okay, listen. Not everyone who doesn't have a lot of friends is autistic. But Rebecca actively tries to make friends and is horrible at it. Like, she even claims that people who don't like her are her friends, which would really boost her friend count by a lot if they actually search for friendship is common for autistic people, as many of us are so desperate for friends that we basically accept anyone who doesn't bully us as a friend. Now, people with BPD can often struggle with friendships, but the fact that this issue is persistent throughout Rebecca's childhood, long before BPD typically presents, is more indicative of autism. So there. Ooh! Oh. Next. Evidence number 4. Black and white thinking. Rebecca frequently has an all or nothing level of black and white thinking, such as thinking her friends either absolutely love her or absolutely hate her. No in between. Autistic people are very famous for this kind of thinking, but it's not exclusive to autism. It is extremely common with people with BPD, as people with BPD tend to be triggered by severe abandonment issues. When that fear is triggered, they feel like they're completely unloved, and they can think that about anyone, even their spouse. So that, my friends, is a BPD trait. My liver fights another day. Evidence number 5. Rebecca orders chicken nuggets at high-end restaurants. Do I really have to explain this one? Okay, fine. There's a common stereotype among autistic people that we only eat mac and cheese and chicken nuggets. Is it true? For many autistic people, yes. Is it true for me? How dare you suggest such an offensive stereotype? Okay, yes, I eat chicken nuggets, but they're dinosaur-shaped. Thank you very much. And I definitely didn't get an intestinal blockage from eating too much mac and cheese. Nope. That never happened.
Would I lie?
But anyways, it's not just that Rebecca eats chicken nuggets. It's that she goes to fancy restaurants and orders chicken nuggets off the kids' menu. That's worth a shot, right? If you don't think so, it's already too late. Oh, okay. Whoever said it gets better the more you drink it, they lied. Number 6. Rebecca has a special interest. Rebecca is like weirdly obsessed with West Covina.
It's where dreams live.
And listen, I was raised in the Inland Empire, another fun fact for you, which also, West Covina isn't even a part of the Inland Empire, which isn't relevant to the video, it's just something that always bugged me about the West Covina song.
My soul, I feel a fire, 'cause I'm heading for the pride of the Inland Empire.
It's the San Gabriel Valley! Anyway, there's no real need for anyone to be as obsessed with West Covina as much as she is. There's nothing in West Covina. Like literally nothing at all. I mean, it's not the worst town in the world. San Bernardino is right there. There's another Inland Empire joke for you. But there's legitimately no reason for her to be so obsessed with West Covina.
West Covina.
Or with pretzels for that matter. And that's coming from someone who has literally driven 3 hours for pretzels. There is no reason to talk about pretzels as much as Rebecca does. At least, no neurotypical reason. You see, this is what we autistics call a special interest. And a special interest is when an autistic person hyper-focuses on a subject for a long period of time to the point where it's practically an obsession. You know, like writing a giant pretzel in a giant musical number about a town where literally nothing happens or exists. Or quitting your well-paid job to move to West Covina to work at a slightly lesser well-paid job, and then quitting that slightly lesser well-paid job to open up a pretzel shop, or coming up with a Sound of Silence song sung by anthropomorphized pretzels. None of that is Autistic, to say the least. Oh, I am puking tonight. Need to re-examine the way I make life choices. Ooh, okay. Number 7. Rebecca is obsessed with random trivia. Rebecca literally Googles a famous fire about once per week.
Once a week, I Google trivia about the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire.
Shut up, I love that fire.
What autistic person cares about learning trivia regarding a historic fire? I can tell you how many times I've Googled trivia about fires, and it's usually twice a week. And it's usually fires at Disneyland, because Disneyland may or may not be my other special interest. Also, this does not include outliers amongst the autistics, like my best friend who wrote this script and is obsessed with knowing everything about everything, even though she's not autistic, no matter how much she may seem to be. There, Julie, are you happy I left it in? I could continue listing more reasons as to why Rebecca Bunch is autistic coded. But I like my liver, and I don't want to die. Individually, none of my evidence may seem like enough to diagnose a person as autistic. But seriously, just look at how many shots I've had. I'm fucking trashed right now. And not just because I'm Jewish and a total lightweight, okay? So here is my final diagnosis. Rebecca has borderline personality disorder, but she also has autism. Neither diagnosis individually completely explains Rebecca's weirdness. She's a well-adjusted, comorbid autistic adult, and honestly, I wish that there was more autistic representation like her. Because in a world full of good doctors and Sam from Atypical and Dustin Hoffman's, she's a lot better autism representation than actual autism representation in media. So I will take that pretzel lover any day. Hello, it's me coming to you sober. I'm just here to remind you that this is a perfect chance to donate to my Patreon. If you like this video, if you like me, you can donate to me. I take money. I don't have a lot of it, which is why I take it. If you subscribe to my Patreon, you will get early access to videos like this one. You'll get to see it days before it comes out. Hell, you'll even get early script access. Certain tiers will also allow you to request specific content that you want me to talk about, like this video, which was requested by one of my patron members. Otherwise, you can also just join to interact with me in real time. You can say all nice things, or maybe call me a dumb hoe. Okay, I'm literally drinking 7 shots in this video. I am a dumb hoe at this point. Goodbye, liver. And if you can't subscribe to the Patreon, that's okay. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. The buttons are here or here. I don't know how this works. I swear, I'm a YouTuber. I swear they exist. They were just here. I just saw them. Also, be sure to hit that bell to get notified when I post new videos. Be sure to like and comment which video you'd like to see next from me, and I'll add it to my list and hopefully get it to you soon. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye!